So what I'm about to say now is something that most people will go their entire lives without ever truly understanding. I was almost one of them. So this information is not hidden. It's just that these people, they don't want to know the truth. They want to be correct. But there is a certain group of people who will see these type of videos and they will realise the importance of the information inside of them. And once they have watched the video and taken notes, it will change their whole reality and how they look at everything. So, brainwashing, what is it? So the brain is optimised for threat avoidance and seeking safety or perceived threats and safety. So, threats and safety, it's subjective to the person, you know. One person's safety might be inside their house, another person's safety might be in a social gathering with their friends and family. So these threats and safeties are not specific, you know, they are subjective to every different person. So the reticular activating system. So this is part of the brain that uses your identity to filter information signals that it thinks are important to you, the real you. So what happens with this reticular activating system is it acts like a filter. So every second we are getting millions of inputs of data, but your identity doesn't need to know how, you know, approximately how long that grass is or the colour of this thing or how many apples are on this tree. You don't need to know this information, but it's constantly being processed and flooded into your brain. So your reticular activating system, what it will do is, from your subconscious and what you think is important to you, it will then notice those things. You know, like how you say you buy a new car and it's yellow. And then after that, for the next, you know, however long this thing remains important to you, this car, you will notice yellow car, yellow car, yellow car, yellow car, yellow car. It's not the fact that all of a sudden there is millions of yellow cars. It's the fact that now your RAS, reticular activating system, has changed the filter in your brain. So yellow car is now important to you until this love or emotion for your car dies off. So then what will happen is your brain now will notice this thing that is important to you. So whatever your identity thinks is important, it will pull that out of everywhere. You know, if you are a nice person and it's important to you to, you know, other people's emotions, things that are happening to other people, then your brain is just going to show you these things. Your filter, your reticular activating system, is just going to send you the signals that it thinks are important. So you are getting millions of these signals every second. Everything you are looking at, you know, your brain is trying to process everything. Is it a threat? Is it safe? So only around 30 to 40 of those bits of information from the millions that you are receiving, only around 30 to 40 of them will actually enter into your brain, into your amygdala. So the amygdala, this is the mind's emotional center, but it functions as a threat detection system. So what do I mean by this? So it's the place where your emotions come from, you know, how your brain will process something, look in the subconscious and think, okay, this is a threat or this is safety, and it will provide the emotions needed for this thing. But its actual function as a threat detection system is, it's really just seeing what around you is a threat to you or is safe to you. And then it is coming into your reticular activating system, it's being filtered into threat or safety, and then your amygdala is then detecting the likelihood of this threat, using emotions to make you either flight or fight. So run away or face this problem. So that's how these two things are working together. One is filtering everything around you, whilst the other thing is seeing if those things are threats or if it's a safety measure. So loss aversion is much stronger than reward anticipation to the brain. So what does this mean? So your brain reacts 10 times faster to a threat or to the fact that you maybe could lose something. You know, you are more scared to lose a bad thing than you are scared or happy to gain a good thing. Does that make sense? So your brain functions in a sense of loss, not on gain. It doesn't really care about the things that could happen that are good. It cares about the things that could happen that are bad. So your brain is always trying to work out if you are going to lose something. So from this information, we know how to brainwash people or brainwash ourselves. So one of the best ways to brainwash yourself is also to think about the negative outcome of how your life is going to be if you continue on the path that you are on now. I know I talk a lot about envisioning the future as your new frequency, but as we go deeper, and if you work with me one-to-one, what we will actually do is something that I call the 2 emotion path. So I will get you to think about very deeply what you want, your desire, and then I'll get you to write very deeply again, everything very emotionally, how you would feel during this process and once you have this thing, your desired reality, how that would make you feel, how it would make you act, things it would make you do on a day-to-day, what would be your non-negotiables, like if you wanted to be somebody with a six-pack, your non-negotiables would be that you work out every day, you eat clean every day, and I don't know, you rest well every day. So you have to think about these things from your new frequencies perspective, so you can get this emotional identity into your head and start moving towards this. But if I actually want to make it stronger for a client of mine, I will get them to write a second path, and that will be the worst case scenario of what's going to happen to you if you stick to the way you are now. So let's say, again, the person wants to get healthy, fit, six-pack, low body percent fat. But right now they are, fat, they are unhealthy, they are lazy. So what you need to do is the path of where this lifestyle is going to get you, write it down, highly emotional, but obviously negative emotions. Obviously that path can lead to death, can lead to depression, can lead to people not wanting to be your friend or love you because of the way they perceive you and how you look. Can lead to all these bad things that you need to attach emotional negative charges to. Because actually, your brain, if you are thinking, I want to go to the gym, I want to be healthy, this is going to be me. Because it's never happened before, your brain is kind of like, yeah, whatever, let's just go back to eating these cakes, let's go back to eating this fried food. But then if you tell your brain, if the things I'm doing now, if I keep doing them, it's going to lead to death, it's going to lead to loneliness, it's going to lead to depression because I'm not happy with how I am. This will fire these responses in your brain. The amygdala, it will become more emotional because now it's the fear of losing something, the fear of losing your life, the fear of losing your social circle, the fear of not being respected by your tribe. And your tribe is just the people around you who expect you to be a certain person. So the 2 emotional paths, we've gone over this. So now we have fear. So these are brainwashing techniques that you can do to other people or to yourself. So focus, emotion, agitation, and repetition. So this is something that you would use on somebody to get a desired goal. This is the same system that people in the intelligence services, the army, what they use when they capture a terrorist or somebody from the opposing team to get information from them. So focus. You will be blasted with this certain information over and over and over again, so it becomes a repetition, because the brain loves repetition. Whatever you do over and over again, the brain thinks, this is safety, this is good, so I'm going to continue doing that without conscious thought. So the first few days of doing anything, it's hard. You need to make yourself do it. Go to the gym, do this disciplined thing that you were trying to do. The first few days, week, it's hard to do, but then once your body gets used to doing it, your brain gets used to the positive emotions of doing it, it will just become normal. You will do this, and then you can move on to another thing that you can focus on. Emotions. So you want to attach severe emotions to this thing that you are focusing on, this desire. So if you are wanting to get fit, you need to attach these positive and negative emotions. You're going to feel happy, you're going to feel loved, you're going to love yourself, you're going to have self-confidence, you're going to be able to go out and do more things because you are looking this great way that is going to make you feel great. But also, if you don't do it, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be sad, you're going to be living in fear, you're going to always be thinking about, what if I did it, what if I did it? So these are the emotional things. You need to make the focus of your desire, whatever that desire is, to be emotionally charged. Agitation. So this is a really good technique that you can use on yourself, and it is the fact that you need to change your environment. So let's say that I wanted to stop procrastinating. But then my environment, this desk, this board, let's say every time I see it, my brain thinks to itself, safety, this is where I procrastinate. So one thing that you can do is change up your environment. Simple things like, on your car, a teddy bear, something bright, colourful. In your bedroom, change the way things around. There's something called feng shui, which is the energy in a room. And if you look deeply into it, it's what I'm talking about now. It's that you get used to a certain setup, and that becomes attached to certain emotions inside of you, usually bad emotions. So once you change these things, you move your sofa from there to there, you move your bed, you move your lights, you move these things. The brain is being tricked into thinking that this is a new situation. So what it will do is then that will open these pathways in your brain that is making you want to learn new things. It makes you moldable, makes your brain plastic, because what the brain is trying to do now is work out if this is a threat or if you are in safety. So it's open to learn and learn and learn. And so all of these signals that come to your brain now when you're in a new environment, your brain is letting maybe 100. Normally when you are comfortable, it's 30 to 40. But when you are uncomfortable in a new situation, new environment, then your brain will be letting in much more of these data points from all around you, trying to perceive if it's a threat or if you are in safety. And then repetition. So anyway, the agitation, how that can be used, like I say, change the things around you. Try and, when you change a thing, then become the person you want to be in that new environment, because after a while, your brain will think, okay, in the safety of this new environment, I can be this person, I can be this person that works out, I can be this person who works hard and does things, achieves good things. But your current frequency is attached to your current environments. So it's thinking, this is where I'm lazy, this is where I procrastinate, this is where I look at my TikTok on my phone all day, this is how the brain is associating these emotions with your environment. So the best thing you can do if you want to brainwash yourself, or I don't want you to do it, but if you are looking to brainwash somebody else, is to change their environment when you are trying to give them new information. Same as yourself, change your environment while you are trying to load new information, new positive information into your subconscious brain. Repetition. So that is, what I call the obsession part. You've got these things, you've got your new environment, the emotions attached to your new reality. You're focusing on this. So now you just need to do all of these things over and over and over again until it just becomes normal, until you don't have to do them anymore. So basically you want to be doing them, ticking it off, doing them, ticking it off, doing it, ticking it off. And then after a week or so, or maybe even after a day or 2 days, then your brain will now think, okay, this is me, this is my identity when I am in this environment. So then you won't need to tick it off. You will just, before you know it, you are just doing it. And then you can move on to the next phase of your manifestation. So the other side of brainwashing, fate, focus, authority, tribe, emotion. So again, the focus, this is just the same as the last one. So it's you focusing on your desired reality, or making somebody else focus on the reality you want to perceive to them and make them think that it is their own mind. The authority is looking for people that your nervous system respects and doesn't get stressed about to get information from. So what do I mean by this? So somebody who wants to get healthy, big muscles, slim body, well, you're not going to listen to a fat person giving you advice. Your nervous system is going to, think, whoa, I'm not listening to this, and nothing's going to happen. There's a guy with a six-pack, big muscles. You can tell he's been eating and training correctly his whole life. Your nervous system is going to think, this guy knows what he's talking about, so I'm going to download all the information from him and make it more likely that you become this thing, okay? The tribe, so this is the people that you have around you who expect you to be a certain person. So Your current frequency, the tribe around this frequency is the fact that they expect you to be, this person who is lazy, this person who is fat, this person who doesn't do the things that they need to do to become their desired reality. We've all heard, well, maybe you haven't, but there's a quote about the crabs in a bucket, that when one crab tries to escape from the bucket, the rest will pull him back in. And this is the same in life and with your tribe. If you are trying to make a new desired reality, you can't hang about with the same people who love your old reality, because, they're going to make you feel awkward, embarrassed. And these things are threats. And the brain is always seeking to avoid threats. So as soon as the people around you are embarrassing you and your brain is perceiving this like a threat, oh, I don't like this, then instantly what's going to happen is that you are going to stop doing this new reality and sit straight back into your old frequency. So what you need to do is find people. If you want to get healthy, go to the gym. Find other people who are on your journey or already done the journey, become friends with them. Communities online, speak to people who are in the same journey as you or they've already achieved the outcome. You need to switch up your tribe, because if you stay with your old tribe, you will stay with your old frequency. Okay? And then emotion. Again, same as the emotion in the other one. You need to be attaching emotions to these things. You need to be, changing your tribe. You need to be making it a positive emotion that you are, you don't want to be sad, oh, I miss my friends, I miss these people. You don't have to hate them. You just don't need to take these emotional lessons from them all the time. You need to be going to your new tribe, and you need to make the emotions within that new tribe and your feelings towards this new tribe, as positive, and it's going to get me my outcome. So yeah, we've learned about how the brain is optimized for threat avoidance and seeking safety. These are perceived threats and safeties. It's subjective to everybody. Something that you find a threat and something that I find a threat are different. Something that you find safe and something that I find safe is totally different. The reticular activating system. So this is the brain's filter. This filters out all of the information. This is like the same way that, you are driving down a road, but you are concentrating on the safety of the road, threats and safety. Other cars coming, people crossing the road, this thing. So your brain is going to filter out, what colour is that tree? The average height of these blades of grass on the side of the road. What is the door? The colour of the door on that house that you went past. These are all information bits that are coming into our brain, but our brain is not going to choose the ones that aren't perceiving if we are safe or in a threatening situation. The amygdala is the mind's emotional center, but it functions as a threat detection system. So yeah, this is where our emotions come from, and they come from there because it's trying to detect if this one thing is a threat or if this one thing is safety. And then if it's a threat, it will send you negative, fear, fight or flight, run away or fight this problem. Or if it's safety, it will give you love, happiness, enjoyment, positivity, and to embrace this thing. Loss aversion is much stronger than the reward anticipation to the brain. So what this is basically saying is that you want to be fit and healthy. Your brain is like, I've never been fit and healthy, so that's not going to happen. Shut up. The other side of it is you're going to die. You're going to be depressed. It's not going to end well if you stay the same way you are now. The brain thinks, oh shit, I need to change. So you can use the positive and the negative together for the positive outcome. The two emotional paths is what we just talked about. You need to map out a path that is positive and comes to your desired reality, and you need to map out another path that is negative and ends in, death, depression, the worst possible outcomes if you stay the way that you are now. Fear, fate. These two things you need to remember, because these are what are being used against you to brainwash you, in the media, TikTok. They are using your emotions, they are using repetition, they are changing the environment, and they are getting into your brain to make you think how they want you to think. This can be used, for good and for bad. When people use it for bad, it's known as witchcraft. Everybody is susceptible to witchcraft and magic. You just don't know it's actually happening to you, especially white magic. So, yeah, these things are being used against you, but you can use this same system against your own brain to get to the desired reality, which is positive, not the desired reality which these, the people in the media and the government, the negative desired reality that they want you to have is what they're using this for. But you can use it to get to your positive desired reality. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and as always, chase your dreams.